I, unfortunately, know all too well about the cost of misdiagnosis. About a year ago, my then 14-year-old daughter, Alice, almost died as a result. And this is not a story I would normally share with a mass audience, but Alice's experience is one that Alice believes can help others because her ordeal was entirely preventable.
Jake Tapper, the ever-so-polished, camera-ready CNN anchor, is one of those guys who keeps his personal life super under wraps. While we're all used to seeing him interview world leaders, dissect political chaos, and drop facts like they're hot, there's one thing Jake has mastered even more than his sharp interviewing style: keeping his marriage out of the spotlight. And let's be real, it's pretty wild that we know more about his thoughts on global politics than we do about the woman he actually shares his life with. So, why the secrecy? Let's dive in because there's a lot more going on here than just a desire for privacy. First, let's talk about Jake's marriage itself. He's been married to Jennifer Brown since 2006. Yes, they're practically celebrity marriage royalty at this point, but if you didn't know that, you're not alone. They have 2 children together, and from the outside, it seems like a solid, low-key family life. But hold up, don't expect to see any PDA photos, social media shoutouts, or gushy interviews from Jake about his wife, because that's just not his style. You won't catch him talking about what Jennifer makes for dinner, or what movie they're watching on a Friday night, or whether he remembers their anniversary. It's almost like the man has a sixth sense for deflecting any questions about his personal life. And let's just say, it's a skill. Now, you may be wondering, why does it matter so much? After all, there are plenty of public figures who manage to juggle a career and a private life without oversharing every detail. But Jake Tapper's case is a little different because he is the face of news that's built on transparency, honesty, and uncovering the truth. So, when someone like him chooses to keep a tight lid on the one area of his life that isn't about breaking the next big story, it gets people curious. You've got to admit, there's something a little suspicious about it, right? Why would a guy who's been publicly dissecting the personal lives of politicians, actors, and other public figures for years keep his own marriage under such heavy wraps? Well, maybe there's a method to the madness. Or maybe it's all about maintaining that journalistic integrity. After all, if you're constantly in the spotlight talking about everyone else's drama, a little bit of privacy for your own life seems like a luxury.
I said, this is on Monday, and I said, why don't you just give her a sonogram? She has so much going on down there. She's in so much pain. Let's just see what it is, because we don't know. And they looked at me, and the doctor said, that data's not needed.
That data's not needed.
We don't need that data.
But maybe the real reason Jake doesn't talk about his marriage is that he just doesn't feel the need to. It's not like he owes us a play-by-play of his family dynamics, right? And let's be honest, how many people really want to hear about what happens behind closed doors of someone else's relationship? Especially when you've got a high-pressure job like his? It's possible Jake's like a lot of us in that way. He just wants to leave some things for himself. There's also the theory that Jake intentionally chooses not to talk about his marriage for one very simple reason. He doesn't want to humanize himself. As cold as that sounds, hear me out. Jake Tapper has built his brand on being this no-nonsense, no-fluff, facts-over-feelings kind of guy. He's not the type of anchor who's going to start shedding tears over a heartwarming story or get lost in emotion when talking about a political scandal. If he were to get too personal, he risks throwing off that super professional, tough-as-nails persona.
You wrote that you're a liberal on healthcare and you supported a Canadian-style system where the government acts as an insurer. Is that what you still believe in?
No, I looked at that. I looked at it very seriously. I do believe, and some people don't agree with me on this, I want everyone to have coverage. I do want people to have coverage.
In a world where journalists are increasingly seen as celebrities, with as much drama as the politicians they cover, staying quiet about his marriage may be Jake's way of keeping that boundary firmly intact. He's the guy who tells you what you need to know, not what he's doing on the weekends. Let's face it, it's refreshing to see someone in the limelight keep their personal business out of the tabloids. Because, let's be real, every time a public figure opens up about their private life, someone's there to twist it, rip it apart, and add a few juicy details that probably weren't even true. So, maybe Jake Tapper's strategy of keeping quiet about his marriage isn't a conspiracy. It's just smart. He's figured out that there's no need to feed the tabloids, and not talking about his marriage is his way of keeping his family life intact and under his control. After all, In a world where privacy is becoming a rare commodity, maybe that's the most honest thing he could do.